Okay.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? It's your boy Isaac,
And this is your boy Bryce.
and we are brothers on tennis. And folks, we've got a great interview for you today. If you recall, a little time ago, a couple of years ago, Bryce and I covered the Frank Simmons event over at Harvard Park, otherwise known as The First. And at that event, we got to speak with a lot of really, really great individuals. And Bryce, I know you remember the day. We've talked about that day. But in particular, there was a person that we spoke with that this particular interview is really about. And so I'll pass it over to you to just talk a little bit about that day and roll us into this actual interview.
Yeah, thanks, Isaac. I mean, on January the 1st, 2022, we were at Harvard Park supporting the first event, and we met a legend, a Black tennis legend, Maurice Hunter. And shame on us because we weren't even really familiar with his story at that time. But if you've been following us and you watched the interview that we posted, uh, he had a story to tell, and he felt that Black tennis had a story to tell. And I think, Isaac, he gave us like a 20-minute interview, and
Yes, he
it was awesome. Well, unfortunately, Maurice passed later that year in October. And, you know, I remember when we heard from Marty Woods that he had passed and said that we may have been the last interview that Maurice had done before he passed. And so we felt very, I don't know, we felt very good about that in one way. But soon thereafter, we learned that there was interest in that interview. And so that brings us to the interview that we have today. We have with us two executive producers that are working on a biopic on Maurice Hunter's life. One is his loving sister. Her name is Cherisse Wilson Goedhart. She is an executive producer, and like I said, she's also his sister, so she knows quite a lot about Mr. Maurice. And then we also have Janie Bradford, who, in addition to being an executive producer on this project, she's also a songwriter from Motown. Now, you know, Isaac is happy about that, you know, with his voice. But look, without further ado, let's talk to these wonderful ladies. Welcome to Brothers on Tennis, both Cherisse and
Thank you.
Janie.
Thank you.
Good to see you, ladies. So let's talk a little bit about let's talk about Maurice. Let's talk a little bit about what is happening with this particular initiative. I'm not sure who wants to start off, but let's give our listeners and viewers a little bit of background of why we're here today.
Well, a little bit of background was, first of all, he was such a wonderful person, such a kind heart. Didn't have any big head at all about how great he was. In fact, I don't even know if he realized that he just played from the heart. This is what he wanted to do. I did a show for 30 years called Heroes and Legends. We call it the Hell Awards. And he was there every year doing the auction, doing whatever we need him to do, soliciting auction items, just a regular down to earth person. You couldn't help but love him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. And we took up this project because we noticed that a lot of grassroots tennis players that did not come from the elitist background, their data or stats are missing off of the professional records, not in the search engines and not on the USTA or the ATP. And that kind of pissed us off. So we decided that we would do this film about his life and his struggles and accomplishments in overcoming those obstacles and against the odds, and to the fact that he's being inducted into the Black Tennis Hall of Fame in September. And he's also been inducted into the International Tennis Federation Hall of Fame Breaking Boundaries digital exhibit, along with a lot of the great former Black players like Arthur Ashe and Althea Gibson. And that's why we decided to take this up. And it's a big undertaking because we are putting back into the public information that should be available, but for some reason it's not. And by doing this, we're ensuring that Black tennis history in America exists for generations to come. And Janie has been a songwriter. She has written a song with someone else that she doesn't want to reveal, but I think I already told you before who it is. But that's one of her songwritings. And she also wrote that song, Money, That's What I Want, that of course was recorded by the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and many, many more current artists as well. So she's very prolific. She wrote for Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, so many artists. So it's really to our advantage to have her on heading our music area and getting what needs to be done so we can have a bomb soundtrack along with the movie.
Okay, let's bring it back to Maurice. Maurice's story not only is about him, it's about so many other underprivileged children that did great things like he has and never been documented, never been acknowledged, never been appreciated. So to look at this movie, they will see themselves and know that they can accomplish things and grow. And this is one of the points that we want to really, really strive.
So,
and so the film is like a tribute to him.
okay.
So that other generations that are coming after will see his accomplishments and celebrate his life as we are, and the achievements that he made will be available for them to see and hopefully inspire them to do the same thing in spite of whatever odds or obstacles that may be in their path, because he had plenty. And, being that era back from 69 to the late 90s, we were still getting over the stigma of inequity in tennis. And he had to really battle to get into those top tier tournaments. And he sort of mentioned something about that in the interview that you guys did with him, where when you're not known to the other side, you don't get the invitations, you don't get the recognition, and therefore you're kind of left out. And the grassroots players were. We don't know much about Lewis Glass, who was very talented. A few that were trained beyond the public school system and the public parks, they're the ones that are recognized. Those that went through like the Mumford High School or the Northwestern High School or any of the public school leagues, they're kind of put in the background because they don't have the support of the USTA or the ATP and backing them for some reason. But we're hoping to change that. We're hoping that the movie will help other players or kids that are starting from neighborhoods, public parks, that they can be a great player as well, and perhaps get a full-fledged scholarship to a university, because those are rare now to hardly unavailable to people of color. Right. So we're hoping to make a change.
Right. And you know what? One of the things that we loved about Maurice's story was the fact that with Brothers on Tennis, we talk to so many people that are in the world of tennis, and everybody is not the number one or number two player in the world. There are so many different responsibilities and jobs and positions that are available in that world And so, although Maurice was a very talented player, we know he had some injuries and all that. That did not stop him from being involved in tennis. He
Mhm.
was a very charitable man. He was involved in a lot of events like the one that Janie was talking about in the beginning. And
Mhm.
and he even returned to the game, later
Yeah.
in his life and was very successful at that stage. So what can you say about Maurice in terms of his overall involvement in the sport of tennis during his lifetime?
You want to
You
go?
got that.
Okay. Well, he, as you know or may not know, he did start at 11. He and many players like him, Walter Robinson is one, Michael Reese, people like that. They didn't have pro coaches or training like the Williams sisters and Richard Williams helped them through. So these guys had to work to earn the money to get into the tournaments and hopefully be invited if they were successful into the top tiers. And those are the US Open and Wimbledon. And Maurice was able to make those um, and finance those through, but many of those players couldn't, and they dropped out and are now coaching. But Maurice always had an affinity for that. He was very gifted. He was deeply spiritual, and he knew what he had to offer, and he kept it up. And I tell you, I have never met anyone with such a strong mental discipline to make his body do the things that he needed it to do. That's what made him such an incredible player. And I don't know if you know it because he didn't mention it, but when he was 22 in 1979, he became the first African American to win the men's single title in that tournament's 30-year history. And it's nowhere to be found anywhere.
Oh.
And he also won that title a second time in 1981. So that's rare. And that's a record, becoming the first to win a title. Just because that it's not the US Open, the Michigan Open Tennis
Mm-hmm.
Championship, that is an open championship. That is
Mm-hmm.
a circuit tournament. So, and then he went on to work for the County of Los Angeles, where he taught the kids many different skills and just brought a lot of hope to underprivileged, underserved areas, in South Central LA and all these areas. So he had a good heart, like Janie said.
No, and honestly, Cherisse, we could tell that when we had the opportunity to talk with Maurice. He was just he had such an aura and a energy about him, and it was really great talking with him. And I guess my question to you is, because he kind of alluded to the fact that, again, a lot of the information available then, hasn't come to light. Are you finding it to be a struggle, or are the folks that are involved with the project, are they finding it difficult to get the information about players like Maurice and others during that day to be able to give it visibility?
Well, not really, because a lot of the players are still around. And fortunately, Maurice had the foresight, whether he knew it or not, to save these articles, which if I did not have, no one would ever know these championships that he won. He beat so many top players like Terry Moore, um, uh, Mike Cahill, Steve Kurlovitz. All of these are top 30 in the world. And oftentimes he wasn't he wasn't ranked. He was unseeded,
Uh-huh.
and he had to play. but there are now a lot of people are supporting us. The MidTech, Midwestern Tennis Association, has a whole website designed around the African American tennis players, those that made the achievements, and they're featuring Maurice. And so they are a string of 20 clubs of the American Tennis Association, the ATA. So they're helping put this whole thing together as well in their support. Whatever information that we need, I've been given it. I have now Jonathan Cantor, who was a great tennis player back in the 80s. He was Maurice's double partner. And we have Larry Sims. We have Dr. Pyle. All of these great people that are coming to our aid to give us information. And Janie as well is taking care of the music soundtrack. So everybody that watches that, they're going to be getting down. I can guarantee you that.
So let me ask this about the project. So is this going to be a film that's going to be in the theaters, or is it going to be like a documentary type?
Oh, no, it is a biopic, and it's a narrative movie. It's going to be a theater, but of course now the films go from theater, big screen to streaming real fast.
Right.
A whole change of the industry than what it was when we were coming up. You know, everything has changed. I guess the same way with music executives and performers that own their own publishing now, and
Right.
so many things.
And Cherisse, if I'm not wrong, now you have a background in film, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I've worked for, not only have I appeared in front of the camera, but I've worked for New World Entertainment, 20th Century Fox, MGM, and learned the craft with greats. One of our, when I was at New World, we produced a movie of the week with Philip Michael Thomas, and he and I became really good friends as a result of that. And our big boss, John Feldheimer, is now the chairman of Lionsgate, which produced Hunger Games, John Wick, and all such big projects. But we want to stay independent if we can, because that way we control the narrative. When studios get a hold of it, they pretty much, you pretty much give them the rights and they pay you for it. But we want to keep control of it so that the message that we want to get out is out.
Yeah, of course we want to be paid, but the truth is to bring Maurice to light. That's what we were trying to do. And if you notice, since you did interview him, you saw him, he was fine, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Ladies, do you have any type of a timeline related to this as far as for the actual movie, and you, Janie, as far as the soundtrack goes? Is there a timeline that you all are working towards as it relates to the entire project?
Would be kind of following the movie, you know, depending on the scenes and what's happening at the time. So the songs would depend on the soundtrack. So we're following Cherisse on her timeline.
And I'm writing the script now, the draft. It will be polished by a top writer to cover what I lack. And right now there's a lot of research because it is a biopic. And I'm in touch with a lot of people that played with him that are giving me the correct information of what it was like to compete with him as either his partner or against him. So that's at the same time that I'm writing it. And there's a lot of other producers that are working with me that I know to make sure that it's a bomb script.
I like that. And so if it was up to you, when do you see like maybe a final product being ready? Like maybe next summer or
Next summer.
Yeah, I'm looking at 2025, and it all
okay.
depends on how fast the script moves.
Okay.
And we already have actors in mind, but there's a lot of coordinating to be done because we expect to have real tennis players. So we have to cast them,
Right.
and but we have mid-tac and other coaches that are familiar with the young players today.
Mhm.
And but besides that, the locations now with the AI, the artificial intelligence here, you can recreate places and scenes where you don't have to build the set. So we're also looking at that. But we're looking at 2025 to start filming. So that's the schedule that we have.
Excellent, excellent.
But we do have lots and lots of support. People across the country are working with some of our researchers and people that are working with us, giving us all kinds of information. And yesterday, Steve Edwards, that's the former morning show radio TV personality, he is helping us by putting the information out as well. So we're just growing with support.
Here's a question I have. Did the success of King Richard at all make this easier for you to do? Like people were more open to this kind of a story because of the success that King Richard had?
Well, this isn't the same kind of movie. This is more of a human interest type of movie on how someone can go from poverty to prominence. It's not just about tennis. It's more inspiration. It's more of a journey. It's more like the film Rocky, where we root for the underdog, which is Maurice.
Okay.
Yeah,
And there are scenes in it that will make you cry, make you laugh, make you cheer, and some of it will even make you want to renew your gym membership.
there you go. Yeah. Cherisse, do you find that you're getting a level of support, I guess, from the USTA, or have you even kind of reached out to them? Because I know that when we were talking to Maurice, he talked about, playing folks like, I think he mentioned Aaron Crickstein, and
Yes.
they were supposed to, I guess, meet up at a certain point, but they didn't because he got beat by somebody else. And so I'm just interested in whether or not you're getting that support from the actual current body of tennis, if you will.
On the ATP site, most information is we don't have information about this player. On the and that goes from 79, I think, to like 80 something, and it's missing years. It doesn't list any of the tournaments and things that he had made these achievements, like the winning, become the first African American to win the tournament. And here, as you can see, is his all of these headlines. None of this is on his website.
Yeah.
As you can see, unseated. As you can see, they didn't even give him a ranking, and he has been ranked. He was a number one in the early 70s. Just all this information that is missing off of that site. And when I saw that myself, I talked to Janie and some of us, and we came out of retirement really to do this because this is real American history. And no one should be able to say who we should remember and who we shouldn't. If you earn that spot, you deserve to be recognized.
That's right.
You worked for it.
Right.
So that's why. But no, they're not Matter of fact, I would think they're making it a little bit more difficult to
Right.
get the information.
Right. Well, I tell you what, here at Brothers on Tennis, we are gonna stay tied to you all and keep up with the updates on how you guys continue to progress with this project. We'll keep it in front of our followers for sure. But kind of in closing, for each of you, do you have any final words in terms of, maybe what people should know about Maurice or about the project?
You want to go in?
Well, no more than Maurice was just an everyday, all-day person, all-day man. He did not feel or present himself as above or below anyone else. Like again, he was so regular. You did not believe that he had all these stats because he was just one of us.
Yes, and I will add that he probably should have recognized his own ability, but as Janie said, he was such a unassuming man that he didn't see how really great he was, and the accomplishments that he made were really worth something, and they are. So, but we want everyone to just look forward to this movie because it's going to be banging, I tell you. And it won't just be about tennis. As I said, it's human interest. It's nostalgic. We have music from the past up to the present.
Well, we are absolutely excited about it as well, ladies. Thank you so much for taking time to talk with us. And like Bryce said, we are going to be there with you guys. We are going to push this and promote this to our followers and make sure that, again, not only the project, but Mo and others like him get the recognition and visibility that they deserve.
We're going to hold you to that, and thank you for having us.
All right, thank you so much. Hey, everyone. Oh, before we go, does the project have a title yet?
Yes, Paving the Road to Gold, the Maurice Hunter story.
Paving the Road to Gold, the Maurice Hunter story. We are all over it. Well, thank you once again, ladies, and to our followers. Stay tuned. There's a lot more coming on this one. So on behalf of the podcast, this has been your boy, Bryce.
And this is your boy, Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Everyone stay well.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.